Happy Sunday night and welcome to the second official meeting of the Park Adventurers Club. Thank you guys so much for finding us here. If you followed us on our previous journey on another channel, that has come to an end, but we hope you'll join us for our new adventure here at the Park Adventurers Club. If you have not already, please subscribe to the Park Adventurers Club and also give this video a like as it helps people to find us, and we're certainly looking for people to help to find us. Also, we've got some ways for you guys to help us with this channel if you want to. At the end, we'll talk to you a little bit about that, but for now, let's get into it. Let's call this meeting to order. This is going to be exciting because with us tonight is Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Rob. I have high hopes that this is going to be the greatest show.
This is the greatest show. And, of course, Mr. Patrick Hackett, go.
The Sunday Night Wars have begun. Let's go,
The Sunday
Rob.
Night Wars. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, like, wait a minute. WWE doesn't do Sunday nights, do they? Interesting.
It's a play on words.
No, it's fine. It's fine. For those of you who have not been with us, and again, we had our first show a couple weeks ago, and then there was Easter, so we let everybody find Easter eggs and eat chocolate, but we're here now on Sunday nights at 9:30, and we're going to be talking about parks. For those of you who don't know, we are running this as a club, and of course, we were following strictly Rob's Rules of Order, which of course means that I have a gavel. And
that is a hammer.
It's
we
a
gotta
gavel.
get a better gavel.
This is a hammer. I'm workshopping. I'm getting close. But I got this, so I can call this meeting to order.
That's good.
And then we'll go from there. And obviously, we have a packed agenda tonight to talk about. So the what?
Packed.
You saw what I did there, right?
I saw a play on words there,
yeah, that's what we did. All right, so let me pull up tonight's agenda for it's April 27th, 2025. We're going to have the reading of the minutes, which is talking about the things that have happened in the past week that we want to talk about. And, of course, we have new business, which is Disney in panic mode? Let's make that as sensational as possible. Is Disney in panic mode? We're going to scream it from the rooftops, and then we'll see if it sticks. But that'll be the back half of the show. So let's start with the minutes. Obviously, we had a lot of stuff happen this past week. The Disney Destiny had a lot of reveals, and this is in the past 2 weeks. Smugglers Run's getting an update. May the 4th offerings. The new test track cars were a thing, and then Universal Fan Fest nights started this weekend. I want to start with talking about the Disney Destiny because I haven't been on a Disney cruise in a minute. They cost a lot of, what's that called, money. They're not cheapy cheap, but they made some cool announcements about this. I think that Shannon actually used the words, "This cruise is not for me." Because it's superhero themed. You got Black Panther in the lobby. We've got new experiences and places available on it. They rolled out the new Hercules show. Stephanie, tell me a little bit about this one. If you were to choose a Disney cruise ship right now, would you want this to be the one, even though it hasn't launched yet?
It's interesting. I like the idea that the main salon area that you come into, the grand staircase and everything, and there's actually an area for a little show or something that they can do there too. But it changes, and so if Loki comes in, they'll project green things onto the wall. I don't know what they would project, but the point being is that it can change depending on who is in the atrium there. And I feel like that's a pretty cool thing that we haven't seen on any of the other ships. I also like the idea of the piano bar with Cruella. I tell you, I'm more of a princess girl than a villains girl, but I do enjoy some interaction. Some interacting with the characters, or some of the best characters are the villains. So if Cruella is walking around and, they start to play the Cruella de Vil song that she doesn't like, I think that would be pretty neat. And, Maleficent, she's all right. She is the mistress of all evil, so I tend to stay away from her.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Patrick, this is superheroes. I like superheroes. Spider-Man's
Me
on the back.
too.
When they showed it and they were showing Spider-Bots and Spider-Man, immediately I thought it was a popcorn bucket. It's not. It was then. It was
It's a
then.
whole ship, Rob. A whole ship.
It's a whole ship. Interesting. Interesting. They have Black Panther in the
Sick.
lobby. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I mean, again, same
Mhm.
question to you. If you were going to go on any Disney cruise ship, whether it's launched yet or not, would this be the one?
No, the treasure. I'm going on the treasure. That has
Mm.
Oh,
so much more parks related things than this one. Also,
oh,
I man, all of Disney's money is going towards these cruise ships, and we're going to talk about it in the main topic later. But they are plussing out these cruise ships, and I think they've realized that the parks have been left to suffer. All the great ideas are going here. The projections, it's just a phenomenal thing, and really, really awesome to see. I do like
yeah.
this one, but I would go with the treasure.
Well, yeah, Mandy was saying, "What? What about a ship popcorn?" But no, it wasn't about that. They did a video. They did a video, and it was like a close up of like the spider bots, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that looks cool." And then it was like showed Spider Man's head really up close, and I was like, "Oh, is this?" Because this is going to be Avengers Campus. They're doing popcorn buckets, but no, it was just the stern of the ship has Spider Man fighting the spider bots, which is really that's I don't know. It's interesting. I like this one, but I think I agree with you, Patrick. I would go on the treasure first because of the Haunted Mansion bar. There's actually a special right now. I think it's about the treasure on Disney Plus. If you've heard
Yeah.
of it, and we sat there, and I made my wife watch it in hopes that she may go. You know what? We should go on a Disney cruise, kind of like that Inception thing.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened yet, but I mean, fingers crossed. That's where we're going with that one. So our next topic to talk about is the Smugglers Run update. I've heard so many people trash Smugglers Run, and I can't wait to hear what our other club members here have to say about Smugglers Run because they're like, this is the worst attraction in any Disney park ever. And I'm like, have you been on Mission Space? Have you actually been? Oh, oh,
Oh
there's fighting
man.
words. Uh oh. So, all right, but and they're very similar. And they're kind of similar anyway. I don't know, but I mean, the idea that you get to ride on the Millennium Falcon, I actually didn't have high hopes for it before it came out. I love the experience, the queue, the
Yes.
the entire adventure is amazing. But when it first opened up, they were like, "Hey, this is something that we're gonna have multiple experiences of," and they never did. And so now
Mhm.
we've got that. Patrick, is that like a game changer for you? And tell me why you hate me because of what I said about Mission Space.
Oh, no, no, no. I love what you said about Mission Space. Mission Space shouldn't exist. It really shouldn't. It serves zero purpose. Um, but Smugglers Run being up there with the worst attractions. I mean, it's not even the worst attraction in that park. Like there's far worse things in that park than Smugglers Run. This is what should be happening. This is what should have been happening with Toy Story. Anything that with these screen-based attractions. Why are we not switching them out more? I am so stoked for this. My big problem on Smugglers Run is that you are really at the hands of whoever the pilot is for what type of
Yes.
experience you are going to have. And if you get somebody who is celebrating, I think it was their 21st birthday when I went on it for the first time, you are not going to have a fun experience because they should not be operating a spaceship.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's exactly something that the again this
Heavy machinery.
other show I was watching was saying it
Yeah.
was like a bad video game, and like it's a video game that they wouldn't want to play, and it's a whole attraction. I'm just like, I think you're being a little bit. I mean, Hondo, of course, when he's working, that's a
Hondo.
great experience in there. And then to be able to walk on the deck of the Millennium Falcon and all of the ways they've set up the different cockpits
Mhm.
so that they can keep people, churning through. I agree with you though. You are at the mercy of the pilot, and I think it's one of those things where you're like, please don't let me be the engineer, but. Stephanie,
Yeah.
the engineer has now a very important job where the engineer has to take care of Baby Yoda of Grogu. I mean, is that a game changer for you and your family?
Do they though? Is it that important? I don't know. Yeah,
Wow.
my kids, yes, my littlest kids, obviously, they are, relegated to the engineer position. My older children, they want to be pilots, so I get you, Patrick, totally. I'm like, no, let's get as far as we can. But yeah, they've ridden it so many times now that it's kind of just it's old hat. So having a new destination, having something that they can actually select prior to, and that's the thing. Are we selecting it while we're in the cockpit, or are we selecting it prior to boarding? I'm not really sure. The queue, I agree with you, Rob, is fantastic. But I love the fact that we can say, okay, we're going to fly to, Coruscant, or we're going to go to Endor, or whatever it is. And I like that ending because, if you play long enough, then you get the asteroid field. And if you get through that, well, I think they even stopped that at some point. So now all my kids want to do is try to get Chewbacca mode.
Yep.
The one where if everybody screws up, then Chewbacca screams at you. That's no. That's the thing though. That'd be interesting to do. But if you had to wait in line for all of that just to then maybe even not get it, that'd be frustrating. I feel like now if it was one of those things like I don't know, Little Mermaid, where you could just loop and get on every over and over again,
Yes.
maybe. But if you've got to wait through it, and if you do single rider, you can almost walk directly onto that attraction. But I do love the choosing things. It reminds me of old Horizons, where you get to choose, are we going back by land,
Yes.
like sea or desert, or like that was really cool. I love that they've opened this up, and it's going to make it a different thing, and it's going to, like Patrick was talking about, like they should do more of this with screen-based attractions,
Yes.
rewritability. Just a lot of the screen-based attractions always have lines. This one, sometimes you can do 20 minutes on this one and go, well, wait a minute, there were only two attractions in the land, and this one's only 20 minutes long. That doesn't sound right. So I think this will bring some excitement back. I'm glad that they're doing this, but I also feel like they could have done this a while ago.
Yep.
So, and
Well,
I can't
they
wait
have
to
to
go.
promote the movie coming out, so that's
Right, yeah,
Right.
and that's the other thing to like be aware of. This
Synergy.
is a year away. This is a little bit more than a year away before we actually get to do this. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm sure that they will tell us if Zach's involved. Patrick, they're gonna tell us like what color the backgrounds
floor?
are gonna be and
The
the floor,
floor.
and yeah, you gotta
better
be,
not
you
change
gotta
the
be
floor. Gotta get a good floor.
yeah, no. Next item in the minutes, moving on, is talking about the offerings for May the 4th have been announced, because why not? I love some of this stuff. Here's the problem that I have personally is I went to a lot of trouble, and so did Jungle Cruiser, to get me this popcorn bucket because it was only in California. And they're like, oh, didn't we mention we're also going to throw that to the folks in Florida? And I'm like, what? Because why didn't? Okay, I mean, I'm glad I have it. And again, Jungle Cruiser went to so much trouble to get this for me. I appreciate it. I'm just like, really, I should have known these were coming. But in the past, this hasn't happened. Like the Jabba the Hutt bucket, I don't think that ever came this far. But I assume that you've looked at all these offerings. Stephanie, I'm going to go to you on this one first. But I wanted to point out these are the Disneyland Paris ones. And I think I could have picked them out as in a lineup of the Disneyland Paris ones. I don't know why. There's something that looks very Parisian
They
about
love
them.
they love dyed bun over there. I don't know what it is.
Stephanie, what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I'm actually liking the Walt Disney World versions better than the Disneyland. And, the French food, they're known for their cuisine and this kind of thing. But I guess Walt Disney World's bringing it because I think that I would like more on that menu if I were there than at the Disneyland Paris one. So that looks good.
Yeah. Patrick, I don't know. Have you ever gone to Amaret's and gotten one of these petite cakes? Because I look at that and I go, that's not a petite cake. That's like a shove
full
it
cake?
down. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they're always so
cake.
they're always so beautiful. But I mean, yeah. Again, I don't know. I've never had one, but that feels like that's gonna be your day eating that cake.
I've gone to Amaret's exactly once, and I just walked in and it's like, I haven't been here. I wanted to see it. And no one was there. They were so nice to me. They gave me a bunch of chocolate. And I was like, this is lovely. It is delicious. I will not pay Amaret's prices. They are absurd. But it's so beautiful. It's so pretty. It's
absolutely.
just outstandingly gorgeous stuff when you look at it. And then you have to pay for that beauty. And I don't know if the beauty equals the taste, but right above there, Rob, the Mythosaur at Oga's.
Yeah, you need that?
I need that.
Yeah.
I need that cup, and I also need that drink. That drink sounds phenomenal.
Okay. Well,
That's what I'm
I
talking
think,
about. I want that cool
yeah,
mythosaur thing, and one of the
yeah.
best scenes in The
I think you
Mandalorian.
should
It was
have it,
Yes.
really
my
cool.
friend. I think you should. But you know what, Patrick? You're always talking about like things that California gets that like Florida
Mm.
doesn't. They're getting this stuff, but again, now the Jawa Sipper is landing the same day on both coasts, and it's also
Mhm.
apparently already shown up on the cruise line. That's interesting.
Oh.
But also, I think that the Death Star bucket, which I don't know, happen to have mine right here, just if you
No.
wanted to.
That's
I
such an
Jealous.
inefficient popcorn bucket. I know that
that
you
is the
don't put
most efficient
popcorn
popcorn
in.
bucket, dude. You
Your
just
Right in.
handle is okay. I thought it was smaller. I thought it was smaller. I was like,
no.
it's a big bowl with a tiny handle.
For a kid.
Yeah,
But it
but
makes so many cool noises.
yeah, it does. It does because I did like a whole unboxing of it. But all right, I won't subject you all to that. But anyway,
But does
um,
the Jawa sipper speak? That's what I want to know.
and you
Yeah.
know
That would
what?
be cool.
It's crazy. It'll trade with you, and you know that's
Right.
fantastic.
Like
No,
shiny
no, it
objects.
won't. It won't trade with you. Everybody who saw the trading with the Jawas happen, even if you didn't get to experience
Oh, it
it,
was awesome.
wishes
I did
that it
it.
was still there. And I
I
mean,
did
we
it.
were like, we
Yes,
would
it
wake up
was
in the
awesome.
morning and we would go, what can we take with us in the park? Like, look around the room. Like, okay, there's a
Yes.
pin, there's a Disney World pin. Let's take that and we'll trade that with the Jawas. And I think that I don't know,
Mhm.
people usually mess things up, right? Like, you know, they didn't want to
Yeah.
trade. I don't know.
I
Was
traded
it
them a
was
pin of themselves. I had a Jawa pin.
Oh, I bet they
that's
loved it.
That's strong. That's strong.
That was a good
And
move.
one last thing is I've had these once, but they were at Disney World, and
Garbage.
Disney World churros are not as good as Disneyland churros. I've had them exactly once, and they were just not great.
Garbage.
Yeah, they look pretty for sure. They look pretty,
Yeah.
but they
Blue.
they were not all that great. Speaking of garbage, Test Track 3.0.
Wow. Wow.
Best
So
segue
strong.
ever.
Whoa, calm
So
down, calm down,
strong.
calm down, calm
Oh,
down.
oh.
Test Track
Diamond
3.0.
hammer.
They've released this video of the quote unquote new cars, and I think everybody was like, "Wait, weren't there actually supposed to be new cars?" But in their text it says the test track vehicles are back on the track with updated graphics. So it looks like it's the same car that we had before. Patrick, do you
All right,
care?
that is garbage.
Do
You're
you-
right, that is garbage.
Yeah, our pack Discord was like, well, wait a minute. Wasn't that supposed to be better than this? Than just like a reskin of the existing cars? I mean,
Ugh.
I don't know. What do you think, Patrick?
I I get confused sometimes. Like Test Track has been refurbished more times than I think I've been to the park. It just keeps getting new and updated versions. They said they're gonna try and bring back some of the classic World of Motion feel with it. They're making the cars blacker so it goes in with the environment a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with this. Yeah, it was supposed to look like that. That looks like a completely different ride vehicle.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
So now they're just putting a black paint on it, a new weird GM logo. I have no idea how long GM's had that logo, and calling it a day. I guess that's what's a refurbishment nowadays.
Calling it a day. Okay, yeah. I mean, again, this was a concept that we had gotten, or the concept art we had gotten that said when they said, "Hey, it's going to harken back to World of Motion," and I'm like, where? Maybe not in this picture. This really looks more like we're driving through the set of the Star Tours outdoor Star Tours queue, more than it looks like. Like I'm not even sure what's happening here. Stephanie, am I being too harsh on this?
No, you're not. Disney needs to stop releasing concept art, just in general. Just
Yeah.
quit.
That wasn't my point.
Well, it's true though. I mean, Tiana's had a completely different look to it. She was in her dress. There was a tree with a boat on the top. And then you've got Epic over here, you've got Universal. They do it right. They release their concept art and it actually looks like what the actual product is looks like the concept art. So I'm sorry, Disney, but you really need to stop doing that. And poor Andrew, poor Andrew. I don't know how old Andrew is. I think he may be just out of high school, but it was a little cringe. And I noticed, yeah, it was poorly acted. I think they're like, go over there and touch the car, look like you're doing something, put a logo on, and it was just a
Smooth it.
little cringe. Smooth it out. No bubbles.
I like it when Stephanie just gets just a little rammy. I think that's actually it's a little bit fun when she goes, no, you can't get away with this. Not in my house.
They
Not
can
in my
though.
house.
They can, and they keep getting away with it.
They do.
I can't believe you would say Andrew and you wouldn't. Never mind. I'm not picking on these people. They're just doing their jobs. So you mentioned this other company. What's the name of it again? Universal? Is that the one? The final thing that we want to talk about in our minutes section is that Fan Fest nights have officially launched at Universal Studios Hollywood. And so for those of you who don't have the internet and haven't seen the 900 people who are filling up my feed every minute about the fan nights, it's a sort of it's a combined fan night where you go and you celebrate your fandom, whether it's Nintendo or Harry Potter or Dungeons and Dragons, which is a random pull. Or
I mean, I guess
anime
they own
or
the
Star Trek.
rights to it.
All of those things are being celebrated there. I'm surprised as many IPs that they have, they didn't just throw some Disney IP in here too. Like, come celebrate Pixar. Like, we'll do it better than they do. Come on over. And so this FanFest nights is 7 p.m. till 2 a.m. And that's April 25th. So it started this weekend and it runs through May 18th. Mostly it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. It's $74 for a ticket. And it looks like first of all, that's cheaper. Stephanie, that's like half of any hard ticketed event that Disney does.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's nuts? Like Mickey's Very Merry is like $218 or something a person now, or I mean, it's definitely up there.
Kid.
Yeah. So was this Universal stuff that they're doing? I mean, they brought in this a couple things that were interesting. This this anime film from Japan. So Universal had already been using this over in Japan. So very smart of them to go, hey, we already have this. Let's just bring it over here and run it for the fandom here. Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm sure I'm butchering that greatly. But there was that, and there were meet and greets, and there were the Hogwarts Nighttime Show, which, again, already exists. So they threw that out there. And then there was this cool Yoshi meet and greet. Stephanie, I'm floored by this. I think that that no one had a bad thing to say about it, I don't think.
I think we kind of said, oh, this will be silly. They're not going to do, it's not going to be grand. And when we first started hearing about it, especially with the anime that maybe not is so culturally relevant here, but oh my gosh, I would go just for the Back to the Future experience alone. And I would stay there probably the entire night. Now throw in some Pokemon and my kids are there. But my goodness, I would be there. My husband is a Trekkie too. I think he would love that part too. So, but we've got to get the same actors. We've got to get the same actors in Florida. If they do it on, the West Coast versus the East Coast, to do the East Coast, bring all those guys too, because they were phenomenal. And I really feel like it was pulling from, I had to say it, the Star Cruiser. All the interactions that you had with the characters there, that's what this felt like. You could spend the whole
But actually
night there.
Characters you've heard of.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Mayor Goldie Wilson.
That have a history.
And all of these people. You know what? And tell me that Universal hasn't been on point with the voices. Like we talked about this last week when we were talking about, or last time we were talking about, does Disney need a fifth park? And we were talking about Epic Universe, and the guy who plays the voice of Hiccup in the park is just nailing it. And then here, the Doc Brown, I literally had to they show, basically what happens is they put you on a tram and they take you to the back lot.
Love it.
And it's just Hill Valley. Like you're just experiencing Hill Valley. And the guy, when I first saw the Doc Brown on the video, I was like, is that Christopher Lloyd in a lot of makeup? Because he was really good. And I was like, wait a minute, how do they do this? I know that when I talked to Jake about the voices at Epic Universe, he was like, you know what, Rob, we're actually a movie company. We can do things like that. And I'm like, I'm just not used to seeing it. I mean,
Right.
have you seen a good Prince Eric ever? Like ever?
No.
No.
And what's with the terrible hair that they put on Prince Eric? Prince
Oh,
Eric always has that plastic hair. It's never even the wig.
Right?
It doesn't even
it's
move.
terrible.
It's
I will give
brutal.
him Flynn Rider. They've had a couple of good Flynn
Yeah,
Riders.
I've
Mhm.
met Flynn. He's great. This
Mhm.
is fantastic. Like Universal is doing things so right now, and I know as we get into the big topic, we're probably going to be talking about that a lot.
Oh yeah.
But here's my issue. The Simpsons are owned by Disney. Universal is clearly seeing how beloved Back to the Future is, as if they didn't know. What are we doing there with the Simpsons land still? We can't make that
Yeah.
Hill Valley. We can't figure out something to do with that. It's not that hard to bring the attraction back. It's a video. You still have the video. Everyone knows you do. Just do it. Bring it back. Just bring it back. There's no reason for you to have a Disney IP in both of your, well, you have 3 parks now. In 2 of your 3 parks. I forgot about that.
Yes.
I'll be in the cold dead ground before I acknowledge Volcano Bay. No, stop it. Stop it. Nonsense. Calm down, Thor.
I could do this all day. Oh wait, no, wrong guy. So here's the thing: is that yes, but I mean they nailed it on all fronts. And part of me looks at this and goes, some of this stuff, and we've talked about this before with Star Cruiser and other Disney offerings, is part of this stuff feels like, hey, why don't we do this? I don't know, every day. Like the people who are walking
Right.
around in Hogwarts with, or in Hogsmeade with like the puppets and the animals. Like I'm just like, why isn't that there every day? Because they can do that. Now they're kind of doing that at Epic Universe, but like let's do it here too, especially in Hollywood, because I feel like Hollywood is not as robust a park as the Orlando parks, but it's getting there, and some of the stuff they're doing are amazing. But the Dungeons and Dragons, which seems like, who asked for that? Seems like it was one of the biggest hits because of like the amount of effort they went to with the animatronics and the whole thing. I
Yes.
know it's a huge thing in Stranger
Okay.
Things, and yeah, no, I'm
Yes.
familiar. You're gonna, is this where you flex that you have a
Uh,
yeah, oh, okay. I
oh.
thought you were gonna say you had like a 20-sided die like right behind you, and that's how you make your life
I
decisions.
don't. I play all mine on there. My daughter does that. She rolls for her outfit every day. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. If it's a 12, I'm wearing kids. Yeah, that's awesome. I think they nailed it on about every character in Hill Valley, by the way,
Yes.
except the Biff one. While he acted like that and he was tall enough, he didn't really kind of give Tom's like vision like that he has of Biff, but the rest of them seemed like they were just like right out of the movie. And Patrick, you made a great point. Like people love that Back to the Future franchise, and they gave them what they wanted. That's what I've said about Epic, is they kind of gave us what we wanted. We're like, we want better food, we want better merch, we want
Yeah.
less screen-based activities. They're like, I got you.
Yeah.
We're gonna make that happen.
I want to pet a
And this
dragon.
one, it's
That's right.
yes, exactly. So anyway, that closes our minutes for the week. And again, we're gonna try each week to catch up on the latest news, and we're gonna close the minutes. But now we're moving on to new business. We're moving on to new business, and the new business is, as we talked about at the beginning, there's a panic at the Disco. That is so funny, right? Come on, please applaud. That was my wife's idea. She did it. It wasn't me, but it was so good. She was like, if you don't do that, you are missing an opportunity. But I mean, again, my thought on it was that, Disney seems to be in panic mode. And while I've talked to some people, and we're going to talk about what the rest of the pack, the Park Adventurers Club, thinks, I asked them that question today, and I'll give you some of their comments too, is that while some people think, no, they're really not panicking at this point. Like Disney is fine. And there was, the question I think is not just about Epic Universe, because I definitely think Epic Universe is part of it, and that's why the Disney community or the online community thinks that Disney is panicking or should panic. But again, like I said about the event at the fan nights, my feed is filled with not Disney news, but Universal news. And all the people who were usually carrying Disney news have gone to Universal, and they're talking about all of the things that Universal is doing, whether it's the Britain Park, whether it's the the new thing that's opening up in Vegas, or the new park in Texas, or or the fan nights, or HHN's coming. We're going to be talking about HHN so much very soon, and then Epic Universe. So like, and then the Helios and all of these things, and it's just filling up the airwaves with just all of this Universal noise and very little Disney noise. I mean, how many of us are going, have a countdown clock to when that villain show opens at Hollywood Studios, or and we may have actually been a little bit happier about it, except for now we all want Muppet Vision to go there because Muppet Vision's going away. So it's like we may have been going, hey, villain show, that's better than Lightning McQueen. But what would be better than that would be save the freaking Muppets and put them over in that studio or in that slot. Although I think Stephanie had a different opinion about where that needs to go. One thing I want to talk about first is the Disney stock, which I own some of, which I'm very sad about this metric because I think there's a lot of it that I paid pretty much more than this per share. But as you can see, this is actually over the past 6 months, and we're way down here in this area over here with the Disney stock. So, you could say it's because, the tariffs and the economy is uncertain right now, but that's a lot. That is a big drop, and obviously, that's an economic concern. In February, regarding Epic Universe, Hugh Johnston from the Disney CFO said, regarding Epic, we did model into our expectations for the experiences outlook, as mentioned earlier. I love all of this like legalese-ish kind of a thing. As
this
mentioned
nonsense
earlier,
jargon.
the early bookings that we have next summer are actually positive, so that certainly is a positive indicator. Ooh, you used positive twice. We also looked at the history of other attractions and other parks opening in Florida, and it's been beneficial for us. I can imagine when Peppa Pig opened up that was probably beneficial for Disney, but that's a half-day park. And it says this is very much captured in the guide we provided. And that was their response to, like, are you worried about Epic? Are you doing something about Epic? And so they're like, we're not worried about that. Stephanie, I got to ask you this question. You're going to go down to Orlando. And you're taking your family to Epic, and you're actually, I think you said you're staying at like Helios Grand for some of that, which means Disney's not getting that money from you. Is there at least one Disney park that you are not going to in lieu of going to Epic?
Great question. I think if we were to skip a park, it'd probably be Animal Kingdom. Just, for the sheer number and the value of that. I'm going to say this. Universal is playing the long game. Universal is looking not just this year, next year, but 5, 10, maybe even 15 years down the road, and seeing what they have to compete with, what they've got as far as their build outs and their new parks and all the experiences that they have. And Disney's not doing that. Disney is playing a very myopic, very short game here, and they're like, oh, we're just going to cut rates on hotels for the summer, and we're going to do this for next year for the international travelers, and we're going to make that an enticing thing. So I don't think that Disney is looking ahead as much as they need to, because let's be honest, the moneymaker are the parks. It really is. I mean, they've had not so great records recently in their entertainment division.
Yeah. No, I see that too, and I said I was going to wait till the end to do this, but I want to share. We have the Park Adventurers Club is our Patreon, and you can join by going to patreon.com/GoPackin.PAC. And part of that is that we have a Discord, and I love this community that we have that we're building. And in talking to them today, or asking them the question about this, there was a response from Jayware, who is upset that I said something about the stock, because it's a reminder that we losing money out here. The talking about the divisions. Right? We've seen that they have been robbing Peter to pay Paul. They've been taking the profits from the parks and using it to prop up the streaming, ESPN, these other things that are losing money. And so Jayware said, if I was running ESPN, ABC, the Disney-owned cable companies, the live-action division of the studio, or Marvel, I would be in panic mode. You're either underperforming the market, completely failing, or in creative turmoil, and you're dragging down the entire company / Disney parks. They can continue to coast off the generational popularity of taking your 5-year-old to Disneyland or Magic Kingdom for now. However, the primary competitor has decided it's time to up the game, and it's coming for you, EPCOT, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. Man, he was on. He was on. Yes, yes, yes. It costs a lot of money to run Disney World. It could cost even more to have that single resort fund the revenue and loss profitabilities issues of Disneyland Paris, Hong Kong Disneyland, and Shanghai Disneyland. The ball is in the next CEO's court. Either find a way back to the magic and value, or watch as your theme park division slowly crumbles, just like your linear TV division. Like, wow. Again,
Wow.
Jayware, come on. But I mean, I think a lot of that is true. But I was thinking about exactly that, is that we've seen in the past. Now they're saying they're going to reinvest. As a matter of fact, they put some propaganda, Kool-Aid, we'll call them facts, just for being nice, out about how much they're investing. $30 billion in the domestic parks. And then on top of that, how many jobs that creates. But all I've seen when I look at the parks is how many jobs they're taking away. It's harder to get into the restaurants because they don't have as many people working the tables, and they only keep one of their water parks open at a time. Usually, right now we're blessed with 2. But anyway, so all of that really makes sense to me, even though I don't want it to be true. I want them, like, we love the parks. We want you to invest in the parks and take care of the parks. Patrick, you're itching to say things. Talk to me.
The long time we talked about the Potter Swatter when Universal got the Harry Potter stuff. What's going to be the Potter Swatter? And no one blinked because it was a land, and sure, it was really popular, but it didn't really make a dent. Epic makes a dent. It makes a big dent, and their hotels are cheaper, just as the same level, if not more level of experience and taking care of their customer. It has things that are more relevant with people now. They're not going to be out of date anytime soon when you're looking at tons of out of date attractions all over. I don't think that the Disney Corporation is in trouble, that like a lot of people do. I think that everything ebbs and flows, and it's eventually going to flow back up. But do I think that the parks are in a place where you're going to start seeing more people visit the Universal parks than the other 3 Disney parks, like Jay Ware said? Yeah, I think so. I think Magic Kingdom will have that family function, and once in a lifetime trip, you have to go there. But I do worry about people staying off-site, staying at Universal, and making only a trip over to Disney instead of the opposite. Like, I've been a person that I stay at Disney and maybe I'll shoot over to Universal. I've had people who work there, so I've gotten really great deals. I haven't had to pay much, and there's not a lot for my 5-year-old there, but Gabby's dollhouse is over there. The Troller Coaster. She hasn't seen How to Train Your Dragon, but I have, and I would like to pet a dragon. I very much would like to pet that dragon. I don't like they're panicking, but I think they should be taking things more seriously. That $30 billion isn't for anything that moves the needle at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, but again, our episode, I was trying not to cover the same topic, but a lot of it actually overlaps. Is when we had our last topic, which was does Disney need a 5th park? Not are they getting one? We never pretended that was a thing. We said, do they need one? And Patrick, you and I have talked about capacity in 26 hotels for 4 parks and all that kind of stuff. But the question comes up about, like, those other 3 parks, they need help, to get them up to the level they need to be at. But I will echo that when my kid was little, which was a while ago, I had the same problem about Universal, is that we would go into Universal and it's like, we want to take him to Islands of Adventure. It had just opened up and we're like, we want to go there. And they were like, you don't want to do that because there's nothing for him outside of Seuss Landing. And we're like, oh, okay. But so there's an article from That Park Place that said, after years of chasing dinks, the double income, no kids, and Disney adults, families are back in focus. And I don't think anything says that better than this dining deal that they have, that they just announced, which is that free dining for kids, which, by the way, my kids never ate a lot, so I don't know how much you're really saving me here. But again, anything is something. And so it kind of speaks to what you guys were talking about Magic Kingdom, and it's still a place, even what Jay was saying about that Magic Kingdom is a place where you take your kid because that's the introduction, and there's more for your little kid to do there than anywhere else. But Stephanie, do you think that Disney needs to get back in the business of worrying about kids and families more than worrying about me?
Yes, 100%, because we're all going to die. I say that like that. No, it's true.
Stop.
If you're if you're chasing the dinks, if you're chasing the double income no kids, who are you chasing after that? Because they will die eventually. They maybe have nieces and nephews and well, they won't have grandkids. So who are they going to bring when they're elderly? They're going to bring themselves again. You don't have longevity. If you want your company to grow, if you want your revenue to grow, you have to get those people with the kids, people with grandkids back to the parks, and you do that through nostalgia. And she's not just a Pixar character, folks, in the mind of Riley, but she does matter. And just like you see with the Back to the Future, that's what people are doing. They're like, dude, I grew up watching that movie when I was in the 80s and 90s or whatever. And maybe even the people that lived in the 50s that were like, that was what it was like back then. That's that nostalgia factor. So definitely Disney needs to come back with that. I mean, just watch their advertisements. Like, seriously, on YouTube, you can pull this up for the 25th celebration versus the 50th. They had people who were there the day that it opened, and they were children, and then they came back on the 25th with their kids. That's what we need to get back to, Disney, because that's where the money lies. That's where the sweet spot is. People want to bring their kids, and they want to have this family tradition.
Now, are you saying that when we talk about nostalgia, we talk about it fondly, but Disney thinks we're this?
Yes, exactly.
By the way, in the chat, before I go to you, Patrick, Jungle Cruiser just said Universal's building a kids park in Texas. And we know that, and that's
be there.
I mean, I think Stephanie could basically walk there and carry the kids in a papoose on your back to get there. But
for sure.
No, you're right. They are
travel single file so they don't know your number.
Exactly.
like sand people. I love that. I don't think that, I think that they need to do more in Florida, and maybe they will. Maybe they'll wipe out the Simpsons and make a Pokemon land, Patrick. Who knows? But what do you you like that?
I do like that. I think that's awesome. I think that would bring a lot of people. Here's what needs to be done. You ready? Sell Marvel to Disney. Just sell the theme park rights from Marvel to Disney. Take a huge chunk of change from them, and then you take a small amount of that and give it to Six Flags, who for some reason have held on to the DC theme park rights forever since I was a child. Get those theme park rights. Use that money to make over your areas. Get rid of all Disney properties in your park. There is no reason you should be giving any Disney properties any looks. Get rid of the Simpsons. Get rid of Marvel. Make those more kid-friendly areas. You can do it with DC. You can do it with Pokemon. Use the stuff that you own. This is like when we talked about before Disney owned Avatar. Why are you putting something that you don't have that much control over into your parks? Now they do. But it's the same thing why I think Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, as it is probably not long for this world. Disney needs Marvel in the parks. I think they really need Marvel in the parks. I think it's damaging to them to be like, we're the Marvel company. Come to our theme parks and see one attraction.
I think
go to that one. It has a height restriction.
Yes, that's true. You make a great point about that, because I feel like that works on both sides. Is that Universal will get that money, and then Disney could use that brand, and both of those things work for us. There's a lot of people who are like, why Universal can build that park, because all that Hulu money, where Disney had to buy Peacock out of all of that stuff, and so that they could have that. Here's a picture of me and Patrick in our no. This
I could never do a mustache like that. That would bother me so much.
Oh,
dude,
you would look so
the
sweet in
handlebar.
You would look so sweet in that. So VIP pass holder days are coming, and I don't know that that's necessarily new. So I guess that I can't really say that this is part of the panic situation. But one of the things about this is that they are offering these discounts on these restaurants that are 40% off.
That's a
and I'm
big
like,
chunk.
I'm like 40% off is insane, and then I'm like, but it
Yep.
has so many caveats to it. The legalese, and we should get Allison on here for Allison's legal perspective on this. But the legalese on this is like valid Monday through Thursday, only at participating locations, dine in only, and during the indicated dates above. So from May 14th to June 30th, you can do Cafe, but only for dinner, and you can do Tusker House, but only for lunch and dinner, and you can do Boat Rights, but only for but I guess you can do that anytime. But you can do Toledo, which I'm mispronouncing, but that one is only open. It's like it's closed on Monday and Tuesday right now. I don't know if they're going to fix that or not, but like, okay, so you get 2 days. Now,
Wednesday
the stuff
and
that's
Thursday,
coming.
you can go there.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff that's coming in July, again, Monday through Thursday only, July 1st through the 31st, is Ale and Compass, breakfast and lunch only. Great. I love Ale and Compass breakfast. Get me some.
It's a good lunch.
Yeah, it's really good. Anytime I can order an entree and then they give me a side of a buffet, yes, please. That's always going to be, that's right up my alley. But Coral Reef, I would love that. Tiffin's, are you kidding me? Like this, Tiffin's,
Yeah.
no restrictions.
Tiffin's
Go to
is-
Tiffin's 40% off. That's amazing. And like, I mean, is this an indication of them trying to work harder for us, or is there something else afoot here, Stephanie?
I think that they're just trying to bring people in. And maybe, like you said, Patrick, you're going to go stay at Universal and you'll go to Disney for a day and then you'll go use that 40%, discount there. I wish that they would have it for longer. Obviously, all the days of the week would be helpful, or at least through the entire summer. That would be nice. But yes, I think that they are definitely looking at, what we used to have in Tables in Wonderland and saying, how can we optimize, how can we maximize our profits on that, because they don't have Tables in Wonderland anymore. That was something that DVC could do, that people locally could do, and that was 20% off. So that was, more than your tip and tax and that kind of thing. So that was nice. But 40%, this actually, it looks very enticing, because usually people say, and now people are still going to Disney. Don't get me wrong. I was at my daughter's soccer game and I heard down the line there some folks going, "Oh, I heard when they said that free dining discount thing, I went ahead and booked it right then." I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So generally speaking, you don't necessarily get the best benefit, the most maximize your dollar if you're doing the dining plan versus just a straight room discount, because Disney can sometimes upward 30-40% off their room depending on which hotel, right? But this 40% off of dining, that's pretty sweet. And you're going to maximize your money whenever you do Tusker House, because it's a character meal. It's or Tiffin's, one of the most expensive meals. And yeah, you're getting your bang for your buck with that one.
Tusker House, they don't include breakfast though.
It's
lunch and dinner
lunch and dinner are
character?
also
Okay.
characters. Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought too about Hollywood and Vine, but Hollywood and Vine,
Yes.
lunch and dinner is mini, breakfast is just, you miss out on the Disney Junior stuff. But also, again, just to throw these other, because we're running low on time here, but these other offers, there was this Disney Plus subscriber discount, which is genius. Because you're going back and you're going, hey, we need Disney Plus subscribers and we need people at our parks. Like, who got the corner office for that idea? I don't know, but it seems like pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah, but if you subscribe to Disney Plus and you agree to the terms and conditions, they can actually kill you. So I just don't know what the benefit is there.
It's not that they can kill you; it's that you can't sue them if they do. That's really.
Oh, okay, I
Wow.
forgot.
Yeah, it's a fine.
Potato,
It's
potato.
a fine. Yeah, it's and then they do this water park thing, which is coming back. A lot of people were excited about the whole luggage thing coming back, and like that's so weak.
Just Southwest.
But it's so weak.
It's just Southwest.
It's just that's the same thing
All
with all the caveats. It's just Southwest. It's just some hotels, and it's only on your way back.
Exactly.
Who wants to go to a water park like the second they touch their bags down? That's the last thing I'm thinking about. Is, you know what? I just got here. I want to embrace myself in the magic. Let me just throw on my bathing suit and get soaking wet after I was in a filthy airplane for that long. I want to sit. I want to relax. I want to go to my resort, or I want to go to the parks immediately. I'm not like, let me hop in that wave pool. Ugh, filthy.
You know what? I think it's ridiculous. I would love it if they would just give you like a day during your
Yes.
Yeah.
stay. If you're staying there,
Yeah,
great.
I would
Go
take advantage of that.
anytime you want to, because like you said, like I'm gonna get acclimated when I get there. I'm all good. Let me get up the next morning, and then maybe I'll go, because then you're gonna disperse people a little more, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
the parks are overcrowded, as we talked about, which again seems weird, since what we're talking about is that they need more people in the parks, but also they're charging us a lot of money to skip lines because they're too. It's weird. I don't know, but I don't. I think that what they need to do is they need to bring back a lot of the excitement and the magic that we've missed. The bubble stuff about the Magical Express and we talked about this
Mm-hmm.
last week, and the magic bands and the delivering packages to your room and all of those things that went away that during the Chapek era where they were like, and we're going to charge you for your parking at the resort, and they're like, oh, we're going to be nice and give you that back. Oh, are you? That's
Wow.
really so sweet of you. I think all of those things need to come back to keep people in the Disney bubble. I think
Mm-hmm.
that they need to stop swapping attractions out, and they need to do. And I had this conversation with somebody in a chat, or not in a chat, but in the comments before. Is that like we talked about that they need to stop swapping attractions, and they need to build new ones. And they
Yes.
said, well, when they take away one that's not doing well, that's what they're doing, is that they're building new. And I'm thinking, no, but I feel like I feel like you can do both. I feel like you can
Mm-hmm.
take the attractions and make them a little bit better, like they're doing with
Yeah.
like Star Tours and with Millennium Falcon, Smugglers Run, and those things where they can upgrade them and
Yep.
add scenes to Mickey's PhilharMagic and all that kind of stuff. But build those other things somewhere else so that we can add capacity to the parks and make our experiences bigger and better. That's what I would like to
I
see.
Can
I
oh, okay.
oh,
Patrick, and then
I
we'll go to
Okay.
I
Stephanie.
was thinking about something that's really easy that they can do that Universal does. If I'm staying in the deluxe level hotel
Oh,
and I am paying that premium price, why am I then having to pay for lightning lanes and all that? Universal gives it to their guests. Like
he took
I
the
can go
words out of
stay.
my mouth.
Yeah, like yeah, just do
Go
that.
ahead.
No,
No,
that's it.
I was going to say, even you don't even have to do it that much. Like you don't even have to say, here's your premiere for length of stay. I'm telling you, people would stay in Grand Floridian and pay $800 a night, do 3 fast passes like they used to, 3 top tier, whatever one you want that you can get for any time of the day. It doesn't have to be time stamped. And people would be like, yes, thank you, and then you pay for your premier pass, or you give a discount or something because you stay at a deluxe. But yes, I agree with you. It doesn't even have to be, give it to me for free, but yes, bring something like that back for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be great. And there's like some ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
There it is. There it is. I found it. Ambiguity. Found it. There's some ambiguity in the fact that what's Universal doing about Epic Universe and that, because it was pretty cut and dry before. It's like if you're staying at Dockside, you get in early, but you don't get Express Pass. But if you're staying at Hard Rock, you get Express Pass for the day you check in and the day you check out. And that was an amazing value and a reason to stay there. And if it was Epic doing the same, I think that those hotels would be overflowing with people.
Sure.
Not that I know how their capacity is right now. What I've heard is it's not quite what they wanted it to be yet. But I think people are still finding out what they can do and learning about it. I think it's a lot different when you're booking your own trip, that you're used to the things you're used to. I'm used to staying at All Star. I'll stay at All Star still, but I'll drive up to Epic Universe and do what I got to do. And then you don't know about, Terra Luna, Stella Nova, and Grand Helios. But those are nice hotels. And so I think once people find them and the pricing is right, and if you were
Yes.
to just add to them the ability to at least at Helios to add to the Express Pass, I think we would be great. Express Pass is still a little weary, but the park hasn't opened yet. That's the other thing too. All of this, and the park is just under a month from officially opening. And I know our friend Ron Diana was down there and is like, I can't wait to get back and talk about this park. And everybody who's been in it has pretty much said the same. So just saying, I feel like, Patrick, I didn't even ask you this question, and I want to roll this out, and we'll do this. Is I asked this to Stephanie, I didn't ask you. If you were going to take your family right now and you were going to go to a day at Epic Universe, what would you give up? Which Disney park would you be giving up to do that?
I'd give up Epcot in a heartbeat. I have no interest in being in Epcot anymore right now. My daughter likes it. She likes to ride Frozen. She likes to meet Anna and Elsa. And I mean, I'll do Living with the Land. Epcot, we have this idea of Epcot that it is not anymore. It is a hot park with very little shade, with bathrooms too far spread out that people go and get obliterated in. And listen, I drink, I have a good time, I party, but it is not the theme park that you once knew and loved. And so if I'm skipping out on Epcot. I mean, that would be my call. I would get vetoed because my girl needs to ride Frozen and see Anna and Elsa.
But I mean, it's got a very similar problem, I feel like, to what we were talking about Universal. There aren't as many rides for little kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
she may not love living with the Land.
No,
But back
she
in the
does.
day when it was listening to the Land,
I-
though, woo!
I raised that girl right. She loves.
Okay.
We went on behind
Right.
the scenes, sparkly,
Oh.
Nice.
but glimmering
yeah,
garden, whatever it is. We went on that.
But you can't put her on Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
No.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, so anything else before we wrap up? Because what I want to do is do some business and then go to our final vote. So anything else that either of you wanted to talk about all this before we go on to the next thing? Okay. Thank you guys so much for being
Beta
here.
Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bell. Okay. So thank you guys so much for finding us, for being here. Please tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a phone, tell everybody that we are here for the Park Adventurers Club. We will be here Sunday nights at 8:30. Next Sunday night is actually May the 4th, so we're going to be talking some Star Wars, and Galaxy's Edge is 6 years old, and we have some thoughts about it. So don't forget to come join us next Sunday night at 8:30 for that. We actually had last Friday night, we did Hakuna Trivia, which is our new trivia game, hosted by my son. I think he did a great job. It was a lot of fun to watch his contestants suffer, and the chat won. So come watch that, see how much you know about trivia. That is on our channel now, at parkadventuresclub.com. Takes you right to our YouTube channel. And then Sunday, that's us, that's here, that's tonight. And then on Wednesday, Shannon is going to come on, and she is going to talk to us. She and I are going to talk a little bit about a look on the plus side. We're going to be reviewing 101 Dalmatians, the animated one. Do not watch the Glenn Close one expecting us to talk about that, because we're not there. We're not there yet. We're going to be talking about the one with the cute little puppies and the animation and all that kind of stuff. So please join us for all that. Subscribe, set the bells for notification. The other way that you can help support this channel, if you would care to do that, is you could join our Patreon. I mentioned that earlier. It's patreon.com/GoPackPAC. And a special thanks to our high rollers, Jungle Cruiser, Rosita, William, Monica, Vince, Jordan, and Sienna for your support has meant everything. And you can follow us on any platform at Park ADV Club, because X said no thank you. That is too long a name to say adventure, so it's ADV Club everywhere. So thank you guys for doing that, and thank you adventurers for being here. You guys, you're the magic. You really are. Thank you. And a big shout out to everyone who's joined the pack. You guys are awesome. Before we get to final thoughts on that, I shared with you Jay Ware. And I want to share with you a couple of the other things that our pack member said, because again, I'm just like, I asked the question in our Discord, and I said, here's the thing. What are we thinking about the answer to this question? And so the day before, we were talking a lot about bread, as I'm looking back down here.
Yes.
So William says, panic mode, not even close, at least not publicly. What we're seeing is death by paper cut at Disney. Other theme parks and other studios are out Disneying Disney at this point, and each one by itself isn't necessarily going to be the death blow to Disney, but it will be a long-term disaster if Disney doesn't take steps to stop the bleeding now. And then Mike's Adventure says, I don't believe that Disney is in panic mode. Iger is too proudful and full of himself to ever admit it. Disney has always relied on the we're number one and the leaders in theme parks and everything we do, etc. Even though it still remains true, Disney isn't quite the innovator it once was. And honestly, I think that what we've seen in Epic Universe, with the meet and greets with the dragons, with the flying dragons, with the guy that sounds
Flying
just like
dragon?
with
Yeah.
What flying dragon? I haven't seen a flying dragon.
Where you been, buddy?
Mhm.
With
Dude,
the
these
burning
allergies,
blades,
man.
with Darkmoor, with the Monsters Ride, with all of these things. It's just like they are, in those words, out Disneying Disney. And I feel like that's something that they need to pay attention to before it's too late. I mean, it happened with Pixar, right? Pixar was out Disneying Disney in movies, and they were like, okay, we'll buy that. Right?
True.
I mean, am I wrong? Like there was a time where they were the better Disney movie. The Pixar movie was the better Disney movie, and so I feel like there's a lot of things they can bring back to the park, but all of these things that Universal is doing at the Fan Fest nights, at Epic Universe, with the in-park entertainment, with the the value that they're bringing and the experiences that they're bringing, they are giving those Disney moments at Universal when you can
Wow.
meet Toothless and get your picture taken with Toothless and he smiles
Pet
at you.
toothless. Pet toothless.
Come on. They're giving you Disney moments at Universal, and I feel like that Disney needs to take note of that. That said, here we go. I need a final vote. Is Disney in panic mode? That's the question I bring to the table tonight, and I will ask Stephanie for your vote on that. Is Disney in panic mode?
Panic mode? No, but they should be.
Period. Drop the mic. Okay. All right. And Patrick?
No, but it's getting close.
Both of y'all just very dark and deep on that one. I love that. You're like, enough said. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you being with us here tonight on another meeting of the Park Adventurers Club. Hopefully you guys will come hang out on the channel. We've got lots of content for you already. More on the way. We've got another show with Shannon that is in the works. Stephanie's working on something. She's cooking up something. So this is a we channel. We got a lot of us that are working on stuff, and we want to bring that community to you guys. So please go Pack. Thank you guys so much for being Pack members. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great week. And adventurers out there, stay safe.